Hi, so today I'm going to paint a little clay elf. Usually I'm painting in silence, but I guess it would be nice to go through the process with explanation of what is happening and what is coming up to my mind. I already have canvas and the drawing is already on. Before I start painting on the canvas, I go through another process which is really long, and sometimes, well, most of the time it's longer than what I do on the canvas. The preparation is longer. Well, first you catch the idea, you get the visual, and then I either do a little sketch of composition, or with that idea in mind, I just go photographing things or making things in 3D and then collaging the photographs together, finding some elements online which are needed to make the surrealistic imagery. Or perhaps I just draw with my tablet. When I reach the wanted imagery that I saw in my mind when the idea came, then I just take the canvas. Throughout the years of my practice, I have learned that I like this process the most. It gives me the freedom to explore, to play with the photos. It's very nice, really. I love that process. Recently, I'm mostly using only blues, developing my blue collection. One of my favorites is this Cyan Primario. And the most favorite of mine is Prussian Blue. Also, I really like the shades of turquoise and the King's Blue Light, because all the paintings have to have this tint of royalty. And also this Payne's Grey, I discovered it the last year when I was painting the first quartz painting, and I just loved it so much for the background. The pigment is not as opaque, so it has this very nice transparency. When it's on the palette, it's almost black, and when I go on the canvas with it in a thinner layer, then it has this very nice bluish violet shade, which I love. So I guess let's go with that. I'm working with oils, but I really want to find a very nice brand of water-soluble oils, because I want to transfer to more healthy option. And actually, when I was working in animation, I worked with one really nice paint brand from Netherlands, but they are not yet selling in Lithuania, and I hope they will soon. I even wrote to the factory and they said that, oh well, your economics are not really fit for this production. The best we could do is just to expand with our production and offer student quality paint for Lithuania because it's a bit cheaper, but in my case, and especially when I tried those, I just think, when I tried the better quality, I just think that even though they are a bit more expensive paints, I would just go for them because the pigment is, they are so pigmented that when you take just some paint on your brush, it just stays for like an eternity. Now I use these Russian ones. They were really popular in Lithuania for, I don't know, half a century, I guess, or more. And they are really good quality. It's the better quality paint. I used the lesser quality when I was a student, and then I switched to the master class, and they are really nice, but sometimes I feel that I could even get a better product now. And I always have the reference picture beside me. And right now I'm really liking this rippling paint style, which is so dynamic. It's very liquid when you see the visual, and it's also, it gives some kind of a dance for eyes to follow, and I really love that. I reached that with many elements on the visual, like fragments and little particles, and also with this watercolor approach, which is done with very thin layers of oil paints. And as you see, it's really transparent and really nice. I just love it. I always wanted to show the biggest things with my paintings. Even unconsciously, when I didn't know what I'm doing, when I started making art, I just wanted to do these fantastical beings, and I was thinking about other realities. In some ways I was comparing them to this one, because those were based on this one, obviously. So I always liked to show these fantastical creatures. And I made this elf clay figure. it gave me some serious thought about the human existence while I was making it, and the fragility of our lives, and how beautiful the human animal, the human physique actually is. So this elf, this clay elf, is kind of a humanoid figure, but the proportions are different. I just wanted it to be like a cute and nice, but a little bit mysterious creature. So I just went to the supermarket here in Lizdynai, and I just bought clay for the children. I remember we had this clay when we were children and it smelled so bad. But it was so nice to have that clay and to remember how I was creating without any restrictions of thinking mostly. Because our thoughts are what restricts us mostly and doesn't allow to just do things freely and spontaneously, and most importantly, naturally. I remember I was crying when I was making this elf. I'm not sure why, I just felt that fragility and that beauty of life and creation. Perhaps there was something in me that got triggered when seeing and especially when making this thing which resembles us all. But it's not alive, but it looks very alive. Because when clay is still wet, you can bend the thing however you want. And it's also really fragile when you leave it to dry. It changes the shape, you have to be really careful. So I was watching it dry, changing color, getting lighter. You also cannot tell, looking at this elf creature, you cannot tell its age, you cannot tell if it's old or it's young. It's like a baby in some ways, but it's also like a very old and ancient figure. This tiny piece of life. Even while painting, I can feel the clay and the shape of this little elf. It's so nice to experience. I don't know why, but I'm using this little brush, like the smallest brush I have. what this little elf inspires me to do is to explore more into the three-dimensional, not only two-dimensional paintings, but also sculpture and perhaps digital. But I was always drawn to multidisciplinary approach. In fact, before going to the art academy to study painting, I graduated music school 2 times. The first one was in the violin major, and the second one was in the cello. When I was little, I remember I saw some really impressive Chinese violinist. I didn't even go to her concert, I remember. I just saw her in the commercials. And I guess I was so really impressed by her presence that I thought, oh my god, I want to be like that. I felt this power, and it was just so fascinating. When I got into the second grade of school, I started also going to the music school. And it was so hard, oh my goodness, it was so hard. Because I had so many things to learn, in addition to the normal things in school. It was music theory, besides the main thing, the violin lessons and all the violin practices, which I had to do at home, like at least an hour for a day. I also had to learn music theory, starting with the basics and going into more complex things, music history as well, and also the second instrument, which was piano. Oh my goodness, there were so many things. And in regular school, I just hated regular school. There were just a few lessons that I enjoyed. And when I graduated the violin major, I got all 10s from everything. Then I was about 15 or 14, I was in my gothic years, so I just loved the drama of cello, and then I just went and started learning cello. And my cello teacher was also so amazing. But when I cannot do that, I just feel shattered. And when I sit in front of the canvas, just all energy comes back to me, and I feel like I can do anything in the entire world. I feel this kind of infinite possibilities energy. It's true. The creation has helped me so much when I was feeling really down in the past. When I felt sad, I wrote poetry, or I was just singing some songs. It was so freeing. It's so powerful. And recently I promised myself that I won't do this thing, that I will not create out of pain and I will just deal with it. Previous to coming up to painting, and then I would just paint for the higher reason, because otherwise I'm just letting the feelings into the world. Okay, that's it, I love it. The little elf painting. Thank you for watching. Personally, I really enjoyed this process. It's the first time that I was doing this like that. It's like a studio visit just with the cameras, but I really loved it. I guess I should do it more. Tell me if you liked it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.